So you didn't ask, but we're about to give you a spoiler-free review of The Ballerina, the new John Wick spinoff movie with Ana de Armas. After that, we're going to hop into a spoiler-filled review. And I'm Spencer.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Amos.
Let's get into it.
Let's get right to it.
Let's get into it. But before we do any of that, have you guys seen these AI Bigfoot Yeti?
Literally. Dude,
goof
Yeti
that's on
vlogs
TikTok?
and Bigfoot
What are
vlogs.
these clips that I'm
I
seeing?
actually haven't seen it, and
Dude.
I don't know what you guys are.
But yeah, anyways, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not just Yeti and Bigfoot. They're also doing these AI videos of like someone in the day of like the Titanic, and it's this guy, and he's like selfie filming himself, and he's like, "Hey, what up, vlog? Today my daddy got me a first class ticket on the Titanic. They say this thing's indestructible." And then it's like him on it, and he's like, "Yo, this thing's pretty cool. They're saying there's icebergs around us, but like, nah, I don't worry about it." And then it's like, "Holy shit, guys, we fucking hit an iceberg! Oh my god,
We're going down."
This is totally not lit." Like they're like,
And it's like, I've seen those too, and it's like they're in the middle of like this like a cavern you could never get inside. It's like spikes coming in at every angle. It's like the middle of ice that's everywhere. Like, how did they get in this precarious scenario?
It's so funny. But the best ones, my favorite TikToker right now is Bigfoot vlogs. It's literally Bigfoot, and he's selfie recording himself vlogging as he does these like weird things in the forest. And then he also collabs with the Yeti.
Huh. Wait, which Bigfoot is it? Is it like the guy from like the beef jerky ads? You remember that Bigfoot?
No, it's like a legit Bigfoot.
Oh, like lore accurate
Like
Bigfoot.
lore accurate Bigfoot. Bigfoot vlogs and Yeti vlogs are absolutely...
Dude, the AI Bigfoot Yeti vlog is gonna take over, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if that turned into just like a full-on show of AI Yeti Bigfoot.
So is
streaming
it
on Hulu
someone
or some
feeding
shit.
like AI prompts to create all this
AI.
stuff?
It's real.
Oh,
Wait.
right. I mean, there definitely is a Bigfoot with a camera in the woods.
Yeah. Destroying the
The
planet.
supercomputers are just frying up all the water reserves at this point.
Every meme brings
Just
us
funneling
closer
those
to
AI
humanity's
Yeti.
destruction.
Yeah.
We got to keep going.
We got to. But speaking of humanity's destruction, the ballerina. That's not a good. That's not a good transition.
Crazy segue.
That's
shit ass transition.
That's the transition we're doing.
All right, run with it.
So, spoiler free. What do you guys think? Give me your rating, Amos, of the Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. 7 out of 10 is my solid score coming out. It took a second to build up to that score as I was progressing through the movie. I was unsure how I felt about it with Ana de Armas. I was like, I'm not used to her in these action flicks. But then she went crazy in this shit. I'm not saying anything yet, but she went off. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
And the movie steadily rose to a 7 out of 10 for me. And the only thing that took it down was, or the main thing was, it was really unnecessarily long of a movie, I thought.
Yeah.
It's a little stretched out.
Yeah, Amos was pretty close. I had the Ballerina at a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Maybe an 8 at some parts, but I think there were parts where the dialogue was kind of lacking for me. Where if I turned my brain off and just enjoyed the glorious fight scenes of Ana de Armas just ripping people to shreds, then it was fantastic. But there were definitely some plot moments where I'm like, they could have delivered these lines in a more, I don't want to say convincing way, because like the movie did make sense.
Yeah.
But in a way that it would have resonated with you more heavily than it did for me, at least.
I give the Ballerina like a 7.5 or an 8. If you're looking at it critically, I'd give it like maybe a 7.5. But if you're looking at just like pure enjoyment, I give it like an 8, just because once those fight scenes start, they're glorious, dude.
Yeah.
They did not miss. The John Wick universe is known for this, and they delivered. Mostly as a spin-off movie from not the same director as the John Wick movies. Like, I think they nailed the action.
No, they got that spot on. Like, I was surprised to see how well they did. It was like, it literally just felt like watching a John Wick movie. It was like, this should just be John Wick 4 and his like estranged niece or something. Like that would pass as the same movie.
I think my favorite thing about the movie was that even though you could tell that Ana de Armas' character Eve wasn't as experienced as John Wick, she wasn't less lethal.
Yeah, but I think
So like
that's-
she was still able to just like rip through people.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as like clean per se
Yeah.
as like some of John Wick's kills would be.
Yeah.
Where he's killing people with like a pencil and you're like, wow.
She's essentially like a novice in the field. Like at the beginning, she was like, or are we getting
no spoilers yet? No spoilers yet. But yeah,
we're not getting.
But I
into
did
spoilers
like
yet.
how like over the course of the movie, you could tell she was getting colder.
Yeah.
Like with every fight scene, she felt more dangerous than the last one.
Yeah, I think my biggest critiques in it come through. I think the villain of the Ballerina was pretty mediocre. And I think the plot was very basic. I don't think it was anything to write home about. But the overall plot was basic. But I did like the lore building they gave the John Wick universe. But yeah, overall, very, very fun. It was great seeing it come to the screen, which we'll talk about in the spoilers. But yeah, so overall, I think John Wick spin-off movie, The Ballerina, it's a really great movie. And also we got to talk about, or I felt, seeing the theaters was such a great experience. Every hit, every kill, every death resonated every like fiber of my chair. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, I feel it. Like
that's a movie you have to go to. You have to.
Yeah, it was fun seeing that one in theaters. I don't know about you guys, but like when I was watching it, you would see people die in like spectacular ways, and like the whole audience would like react you would hear people together. Oh man, like that was gruesome.
Yep. And I'm happy that they showed the blood, the guts, the gore, because that's what we needed. So
we need more of that.
Yeah, we need more.
Definitely.
Please.
Give me Terrifier,
more
John
blood,
Wick.
more death.
Yeah.
More destruction.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to head over to the spoiler-filled review of The Ballerina, and we're going to talk about what we liked and what we didn't.
Yeah.
We're spilling it all.
Spilling the beans, spilling the beans. Okay. I'm going to start this out because I have a really interesting connection to The Ballerina. And now it's finally out. Yeah. You want to see it?
Yeah, you could twirl.
Yeah, I could twirl.
Let's see those toes.
I need to see that.
Yeah, so I have a really interesting connection with The Ballerina. I got to read The Ballerina script 4 years ago when I interned for the company that makes John Wick, Thunder Road. I did script coverage of it, which if you are in the film industry, you know what script coverage is. For those that don't, simplified, you read a script as an intern or in a creative department, and you summarize it in like a page, and then you review it. And depending on your review, it can either go higher up the ladder or you can stop it from going higher up. So I got to do The Ballerina during my internship. And so seeing it come from script to screen finally after like 4 years was really dope. It was really awesome.
That's got to be a fun thing to experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. Things have changed a little bit. Overall, it's basically the same kind of concept and things. But I remember when I was reading the script, I was like really hyped about the whole snow fight at the end. And I was really hoping they kept that because I feel like the John Wick universe usually takes place in like cities and whatnot. And I just thought the whole snowy, mountains in a snow town was a cool difference. And John Wick being in it, I was actually quite surprised. When I read it, I didn't know how they were going to film. Because usually in these spinoffs, you don't get your main guy. You don't get Keanu Reeves back. You get like...
We got a good bit of him.
We got a good bit of him.
We got a good chunk of Keanu Reeves.
You get a whole action scene with him, which I was not expecting. And it makes it really feel tied together. What I was fearing was like in the ending of that movie Shazam, it was the end credit scene, but Superman comes in, but they don't show his face because they didn't have the money for Henry Cavill. And I was like, oh, I hope we don't get that for John Wick. But they didn't. We just got the Baba Yaga.
The man, the myth himself.
Bro, he showed up and he did his Baba Yaga biz, dude.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
They had John Wick power scaling.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool kind of seeing that come together from 4 years ago when I read it for the company and reviewed it for them to nowadays. So,
well, was there anything when you read the script that you wanted to see in the movie that didn't make it in?
I don't know how much I can give away from what's actually what I read in the script. I don't know if I can give away too much, but I will say one thing I was really happy was in it was the John Wick ballerina fight. I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh, when I read it, I was like, this is cool. This is cool. And what I really liked that they did in the movie was that John Wick absolutely demolishes her. She doesn't stand a chance. She died 10 times in that. Like, he made sure to, like, kill her, obviously, just, like, showing you, I could have killed you right there, like, 10 times. And I thought that was really great because it would have sucked if, like,
that was great.
newbie Ana de Armas can beat John Wick. What?
Yeah.
No. So I was really happy that
Yeah.
they got that scene correct. If you're going to have John Wick and you're going to have a ballerina John Wick fight, that was something.
And it was cool, like, again, the experience that you could see that John Wick had versus her.
Yeah.
Because, like, all those moves that she was using to make quick work of all those random goons, he was seeing
nothing.
right through them.
Yeah.
You know what I realized you did when you basically read the script and then you saw it in live action? You basically read the manga of John Wick and then watched it in live action.
John Wick manga, yeah.
The full line
Dude.
John Wick manga
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah, no, it was
sick.
cool. And I remember when I was reading it when they asked me, because I had told them during my internship that I was like a big John Wick fan, and I was like, if there's anything John Wick related, send it my way. And I did a good enough job and everything that they were like, you want to do the ballerina? And I was like,
I do.
I was like,
yeah,
I do.
hell yeah.
So that was cool. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think things have definitely changed, but yeah, very cool experience. It's the first one. There's other scripts that I read throughout my time interning in creative departments that are being made into movies. Some stuff from Agbo, the Russo brothers company, but those haven't come out yet. So when those come out, it'd be really cool to see that transition as well.
Oh yeah,
So
that'll be exciting.
but talking about John Wick, what did you guys think?
Onward.
What did you guys think of how they brought in John Wick?
I think it was cool the way that they slotted the movie into the universe.
Yeah.
Pre John Wick 4.
Yes.
Like bringing it in after John Wick 4, and then like you're kind of wondering, hey, how would she stack up to John Wick? The whole movie would have been a different kind of vibe. But I like that you got to see, especially that one scene like with the stairs where he's coming down and he's I can't remember what he said exactly, but I remember distinctly seeing that scene from the earlier John Wick, and I was like, that was a nice callback.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really good job of implementing those like past scenes from those past movies. Like when he got branded on his back from when he like disappointed the what's the group? The club that he's in?
The
disappointed
the
director.
Yeah, Amos, I think it's a little bit more than a club. It's the oh my god.
But the director told him that he couldn't come back, and then he got the brand and he was basically banished.
Yeah.
Banished, from his club.
It's really crazy. Just thinking about John Wick, the first movie just started out with like, hey, I killed this guy's dog. And it's like,
yeah, that's what he said when he came down the stairs. He was like, it wasn't just the dog.
Yeah, and now it's like, dude, we've got this. I think that John Wick universe has done such a great job of expanding its lore in a good way. Like it all feels really real and genuine, and like, man, in this one expands the lore even more.
Yeah, the world building has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. It's like a fantasy movie, but it's not fantasy. It's like spy thriller fantasy.
Yeah. But it's just grounded enough in reality that you can still do like fight scenes where like if you really sat down and you count all the bullets and stuff that they're using, like it makes sense.
Yes.
They don't have unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
They don't have 60 times the human strength that a normal person would have.
Yeah.
They do have super endurance.
Although some of those scenes,
they never get tired.
Some of the scenes in this flick, I will say, that dude, the dude who lit his foot on fire.
Oh yeah, that guy turned into Sanji.
Literally,
into Blackfoot Sanji.
Blackfoot Sanji joined in the ballerina. Literally, I like the fact that we all three of us that had to be. Did ballerina? If anyone knows, that had to be a call to Sanji. A blonde dude in a suit
that was 100%
one foot on fire, and then he proceeds to kick.
The director watches One Piece.
It has to, dude. I wanted to be. And I wanted to look at my dad and be like,
and he's a Sanji fan.
Yeah, dude. That fight, that was awesome. But real quick, you brought up, and this is one of the things I love about the John Wick universe, and I think Ballerina did it really well, is that you feel stakes because they're gonna run out of bullets, they're gonna run out of knives, they're gonna run out of like weapons, and they're gonna have to like use the things around them. John Wick is very much known for using everyday objects as like weapons. But I really like, there's a scene of Ana de Armas, Eve, walking down after she killed a bunch of people. You see the aftermath, and she's picking up all the knives as she goes.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's sick. Because like the other movies.
I love that little detail.
Yeah, other movies wouldn't show that. But it's cool because it's like, that's legit. Like when she runs out of those knives, the movie's gonna run out of those knives, and she's not gonna have it. So.
Yeah, like if she wants them later,
That
she
also
needs them.
added to like the humor of the movie. Like that was like a jovial little moment. Like, let me go pick up on my knives. Let me
Yeah.
get that. And that made me laugh to see those little lighthearted, kind of lighthearted scenes.
Yeah.
In
I
this
really like
like
the,
intense situation.
Yeah.
The one scene where they were hitting each other with the plates.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
funny.
That was a good
That was a
one.
cool one.
That was really good, dude. What was your favorite action moment or set piece in Ballerina?
That's a tough question. There were a lot of good fights.
Because you have
I know mine.
you have flamethrower shotgun battle. You got the grenades battle.
Yeah.
You got the John Wick battle. Which one? Which one's your favorite?
I think off the top of my head, I know you said one, but my favorite two, when she went into buy the guns and had to fight them in the like weapon cellar.
Yeah.
And when she first pulls up to the town and realizes that everyone in the town
was
is
hard.
in the rival cult,
Yeah.
and she has to fight everybody.
Yeah.
That was hard. The realization where she had like the whole town is
regular
in her
looking civilian is
The
against
whole town is
Yeah.
out to kill Ana de Armas,
Yeah.
dude. That shit is
That was
crazy.
cool. That was a cool little twist. I kind of knew it was coming, but I was like, this is cool. It's something a little different. I wish they kind of played out the horror-y aspect, the tense aspect of it, of like, she's in this town and like everyone's looking at her weird and she slowly figures out that they're all against her. But then at the same point, this is already an over 2-hour movie. Do we really need another extra 10 minutes of her like figuring it out? I don't know. But
Yeah.
Amos, what was your favorite action moment?
My favorite action scene was definitely the grenades when she was locked in the armory down in
Yeah.
when she was trying to get strapped to infiltrate this place. They just jumped her anyway. And then she was in this place with all these guns. There's different ways she could kill these people. She's like, nah, I'm gonna get these grenades and blow up everything I see. I was like, yo, do not fuck with the Armas. She'll blow you to bits, dude.
The scene, the
Oh
kill
my
where
God.
she wraps
I was just about to mention that. That was my favorite kill.
And then favorite kill in the movie was
By far.
favorite kill in the movie was the grenade table kill around the guy's neck.
Like she could have just hopped over the table and broke
thrown
his
one
neck
grenade.
and killed him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But the fact that she did that
No.
at the same time she blew his head off with the grenade.
Blew his head off. He blew into atoms, dude. He had no piece of his body left.
Atomized.
And the funny part about
Oh
that
my
one is the
God.
fact that like realistically she would be dead there too.
Yeah.
But I do not care
It
about
doesn't even
I
matter.
don't care. It was so cool. I was in the
Bro.
theater and I was like, oh you guys see that? Like
Or
rewind.
like behind the
I lost it.
door when she used the blast door as a
yeah.
shield to blow that guy to
dude.
bits.
Yeah, so she blows up the guy and then creates a hole in the wall like a Rainbow Six Siege and goes through it. And I'm like, what are they cooking up in that writer's room?
That was intuitive.
Nah,
that
the
was
people that
intuitive
designed
strategy
and
to blow
choreographed
up everything
those
around
fights
you
were
to kill all your
absolutely
enemies.
incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Whoever the choreographing fights or the choreographer for the John Wick universe and the Ballerina, top notch. Oh my God, dude.
Top notch, top tier. Excellent. Oh
I think my
God.
favorite, I mean, the grenades is so cool because like you would normally just think throw one grenade, you're done. But the flamethrower battle, the flamethrower shotgun battle was also so
Yeah.
That was
cool.
dope.
I
That
never
was dope.
thought about it like that. Like a flamethrower shotgun battle. Like the flamethrower shotgun battle and the grenade fight in Ballerina were just so awesome.
How'd you guys feel about the hose fire flamethrower thing? I
The
felt like
hose
when I was
counter?
watching that one, I was kind of like, this is starting to feel a little bogus.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
could the
agree.
hose really be more powerful
Yeah, I
than
mean,
the
like-
flamethrower that was shooting like 30 feet
Yeah,
of like scorching hot flames?
I agree. But also, it was so
Like,
cool.
it was
I don't
just
really
like-
care.
It was sick. I mean,
when
it was
she, like,
sick.
lit
Like,
it and then,
you could judge the
John Wick
physics of it,
snipes
but-
the can of gas.
shit
I
was
was like,
sick.
okay,
Um,
that was definitely cool.
yeah.
Some things about the Ballerina that you guys didn't like or would want to see done a little bit differently.
Well, I started earlier. I explained this earlier. Like, I thought the movie was too long. I felt there were some scenes that kind of just stretched out the movie in a way that it didn't need to.
Yeah.
Like when Anna was in her like initiation, like with her first mission, where she had to do that whole like rescue that Asian girl who was being killed by those guys
Yeah.
or whatever. I felt they almost didn't need to do that. They could have just gone her straight into dealing with her past.
Yeah. I agree. It definitely took a little longer to get going than I expected it to, and than other John Wick movies. I don't want to say expected that, but I kind of figured that was going to happen. I'm kind of happy it did, just because it's a new character to us. We're not used to we're always used to John Wick, so they kind of have to make us care about Eve. Did you really care about Eve? Yeah, a little bit. Like I don't know.
I liked her plot and her storyline. For me, it wasn't so much the length of the movie, it was the way that they used certain characters.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the other ballerina that they set up at the start, where she was a really good dancer, but she wasn't as good of a killer. They showed her at the beginning and propped her up like she was going to be an important supporting character, and then you literally don't see her again.
I think the whole purpose of that was just to build up on Eve's character and her love of her friends and her family and her people, and like that she cared so much about that person. But when you do have a 2-hour movie and you have these moments that kind of feel like they're shoehorned in just to give you character development instead of naturally giving you that development, that's when you can kind of feel that. For me, two of the biggest things that I feel really were weak in this movie was, first of all, the absolute terrible usage of her sister.
Literally, that was the other character that I was going to mention.
Dude, absolutely.
She did not need to have a sister at all.
Not even just, they just didn't need to have it. They built up in the beginning, totally forgot about it because there was a one sentence saying, you have a sister, I miss her, whatever. Right? And then randomly,
I forgot by the time they
forgot. It wasn't even a reveal to me. I was like, she has a sister?
What?
I was like, oh, wait, they did say that in 0.5 seconds in the film.
And then before you even have time to process the fact that she has a sister, she's taking her last breath.
Yeah.
And then you're watching, you're like, what's that?
And they want us to care about it. I'm like, I don't care
I
that
can't possibly be moved to tears. I didn't know you existed until 2 seconds ago.
They didn't even do no like flashback or nothing of them as like kids. Like, yo, do you remember me?
And I love how Eve doesn't even react. She's like, I'm your sister. Oh.
She was like, huh?
What do you mean? Like, if I was
she was left in the dark just like us.
She was like, wait, I forgot I have a sister. Right? Yeah, that's true.
I don't remember you actually.
Yeah, and then she gets killed, and she's like, oh, all right. I'm not gonna mourn you at all. Not gonna talk about you at all. I'm gonna leave your body
I'm
here.
killing dad, so
yeah, right. I thought the sister reveal was absolutely useless.
And it's not like it fueled her going forward. Before she killed that guy, she was like, you killed my sister.
Nothing.
Like, they literally don't speak on her death.
It didn't push the plot forward at all. It didn't push her character forward at all. All it did was just give us a kill of someone we were supposed to care about. And I don't think any of us cared about her.
Yeah. I think they could have had that exact same character not be her sister, and it wouldn't have changed the movie at all.
Just maybe have it be someone.
Not at all.
And then also the villain. I didn't really find him too intimidating or anything. Like, I wasn't like, I guess the thing with him is I'm kind of happy that not every main villain has to be a physical match for our main character. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of like the fact that there can be this villain who's the guy in the chair who just, his power is in his words and not necessarily his fighting technique. Maybe when he was younger, I don't know. But it was so anticlimactic when she killed him. But I kind of like that. But at the same time, the problem I had with the villain of the Ballerina was that he just didn't win at anything. Like, he attempted to kill the father, completely screwed that up. He only died because for some reason he died because his blood, he didn't actually kill. He didn't confirm that the dad was dead. He didn't take Eve.
They didn't even know who Eve was.
Yeah.
For most of the movie. And my thing was if you know that you were hunting this guy and you were dedicating all these resources to kidnapping this kid, how do you not know who it is anymore after 10 years?
Yeah.
The search is just over.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
We give up.
And then even with capturing Norman Reedus's kid, I forget the guy's name.
He was playing Daniel Pine.
The guy that tried to leave. He basically was the same thing of Eve when she was a kid, or the father. Even with that, he didn't do anything, and they kind of screwed it up. If it wasn't for it being in the Continental and everything, I guess that's the only time they really won. And then he totally just runs away when the town is losing to Artemis.
Another Artemis.
So yeah,
one woman army.
One woman army.
Yeah, she was a force of nature in that movie.
She was really good.
Yeah, no, she was fantastic.
Yeah, she did really good.
But for a movie
I
called The
agree.
Ballerina, I really don't feel like there was much ballerina-ing.
Yeah, there wasn't really all that much.
Like, they showed
I
it
thought
at the
she was gonna
start.
do like
Like, you see her failing to like do the proper spin and technique, and you see her working at it and getting better. Same way she's improving with like her killing technique, I guess, too. But I would have liked to see them go back to the ballerina portion outside of her just stopping in the winter shop to look at the other ballerina.
Well, here's the
toys.
thing. I disagree with you guys on that one, but I also agree. The ballerina is just a front for the assassin. Like they're not actually trying to be assassins.
Yeah.
What they're trying to teach them is they're using their, like they say in the movie, they're using their ballerina technique to kill.
Yeah.
But I wish we saw her using those techniques more up front. Like I wish we saw her twirling and being able to like take out people because she has the ballerina.
Like we saw her doing like
He does a
Black
little
Widow
pirouette,
style
a split, kill somebody,
like kills where
little
she,
curtsy.
like, yeah, where she's like wrapping her legs and stuff around people to kill them. And like I get that that's supposed to be taken from what she was able to learn from being a ballerina.
It was,
but like you're saying, I would have liked to see a more explicit way of her technique translating to
and they don't
murder,
need to
I
like
guess.
they don't need her to be like squaring off with the guy and she's like
and just start dancing
and start dancing and killing him. Like I don't need that, but I think it would be cool for her fighting style to be very, very ballerina-esque. Because once she starts fighting, she's kind of just fighting like any ninja. And I think that was the problem. That's what I had. I don't think I needed more scenes of her training as the ballerina because then we would have a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
But
I would have liked to see some.
I kind of like how she was also
moves.
just like this brute. Like she was like she had her ballerina aspect, and she's like obviously weaker than pretty much everyone she fights. But even regardless, she's still like brutal and savage, and will just maim you and kill you in any way she can.
Would you let Ana de Armas maim you and kill you?
I would let her cut me into a lot of mini tiny little pieces and store me in a box somewhere. She could do whatever she wants with that after that.
Whoa. Yeah, same thing for me, but with Keanu Reeves.
All right. All right. Here we go.
I honestly enjoyed that they said it within the time period that John Wick was around to build up her character. Mainly, again, for the power scaling reasons, just so we could see how she, at the start of her killing career, stacks up against a seasoned vet like the Baba Yaga.
I mean, and literally, like, he's here, she's here, and I loved how they did that.
But even with that gap in power and technique and skill, she's still like a force to be reckoned with across the entire film.
Yeah, I'll say the same. I like how they implemented him.
Yeah.
Although I do have one critique with how they did that is I thought they used him a little too much. Like I almost think they didn't need him in that in terror moment. They could have had like almost the whole beginning of the movie. You don't see John Wick. Maybe they mention him, and then it's at the end where he's at the city, and then they have that John Wick ballerina. How do I be like you? How do I do that? And then John Wick's like, all right, you can't kill me. Let me give you a chance to redeem yourself.
What did you guys think about John Wick getting that final blow to kill the guy that was about to kill her? Did you like that?
Honestly, I thought it was cool, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like I thought that after they had their fight in the like snowy area, that in that last 30 minutes, John Wick should have really just disappeared and let her handle it.
Yeah.
And then maybe if he's still around at the end, like right around midnight, he could be like, okay, make the phone call to the director and be like, it's done, it's handled, like he did. But I didn't like how involved he was in solving her issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I liked and I didn't like. I'm kind of torn on him killing the guy that was about to kill her, the flamethrower, the Sanji. I didn't like it because it kind of felt like it took away from Eve's character to handle herself and learning as she fights and learning the techniques of how to fight and be the better fighter and fight for herself. And this time she had to have some outside force help her. Mostly for like the main bad guy battle, you know, because that like she doesn't fight the cult leader, she just kills him. But this guy she actually fights.
I saw it as some unwarranted Keanu Reeves glaze.
No, it's 100% what it was.
Yeah.
But Keanu Reeves deserves all of the glaze.
Like I thought
He does
his individual
get some
fight
glaze.
scene that he had was cool.
Awesome, yeah. But I don't think he needed to
but
help
I don't
her.
think it needed to be him
Yeah.
and his bullet that
Yeah.
took out the
Yeah.
final villain.
However, the way that I look at it
Like-
also is that is yet again showing how much more the ballerina has to learn. Eve has to learn before she is at that level. The fact that she did need some help to actually defeat the bad guy and defeat the cult. That she did need help.
is true.
So now it gives her even more room to grow, because imagine we saw her in the beginning of the movie, she's ballerina. By the ending, she's John Wick Jr. You're gonna be like, all right, I don't need any more. But now we're like, okay, she's not John Wick Jr. because John Wick could have taken out that entire town and not breaking a sweat. But she needed help. So maybe it
would have
does
even
leave room for her to
breathing
grow.
hard.
But I do think it took away from the character development a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that was like her internship.
Yeah, that was her internship. Yeah.
That was her internship to do John Wick's
Yeah.
job.
But I guess it's just like she's been trying to handle this revenge situation
Utter up.
from the time that she was literally a little girl.
Yeah.
So
And
to have John Wick just randomly swoop in and
take
be
the
like,
glory.
boom, I'm going to just take this guy out myself. It just felt a little cheap.
Yeah.
When the whole movie you're building towards, like, how is she going to finish this off?
Yep. Speaking of John Wick, though, also, did you guys find it a little weird that John Wick, right? They can't find Eve at all when she's hiding and healing herself. And then John Wick comes in and immediately he's just walking. He just found her right away. Like that guy's got like super hearing, super scent, super like vision. Just immediately.
That's the Baba
That's what it
Yaga.
needs to
That's
be, the Baba Yaga.
I thought like it was kind of cheesy, but at the same time, because it's the Baba Yaga, because it's John Wick, I'm like, you know what? It makes sense.
But could you imagine they added like another 15 minutes to the movie where like John Wick is searching for
around her? You'd be
Is
like,
she here?
It would make John Wick seem like such a little bitch.
Like they John Wick nerf.
And I love it. John Wick, Keanu Reeves, this skinny guy with long greasy hair comes out, right? He's coming off. He's just, you feel like you could take this guy and everyone's just like, oh shit. Like dude, he's like a literal demon walking down and everyone's just like, yep. Love it.
Bro, they added those extras that were like, yo, we gotta kill this guy. And he was like, do you know what that is? That's the Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
And then
they're like, he can't take out all of us. And they're like, it's John Wick. Like, yeah.
What do you
How
mean?
would you guys have felt if the director sent in a different agent
Oh, it would've
than
been stupid.
John
Would have been
Wick?
terrible.
You think?
That would have
'Cause they just
been.
would've-
That would have been.
It would have just been another random character that they would have just brought in for like 10 minutes and then given no development to.
Yeah.
It would have had the same effect as the sister.
Yeah. It would have been the same thing with the sister.
Yeah.
I think it only worked because it's John Wick. And I would have,
But I feel like it's just because like we've seen I guess that's the problem with like a spin-off movie. You can't like retcon and like take a random character that they've already built up. But like what if they had who was in John Wick 3 like fighting with John Wick?
Oh, jeez.
Was that Donnie Yen?
No, it was
blind guy?
The blind guy was 4.
I don't know how I
That
can't
guy's
remember
sick,
this.
though. Maybe they bring him back for some reason.
That guy was
That guy was sick.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry. Okay,
Like if
yeah.
they had,
Oh, yeah,
like if
with
they
their
had made a
dogs.
call and
That
it was like
was sick,
Halle
too.
Berry or something.
Yeah, I don't think it would have hit with me as much as it being John.
Oh no, it probably wouldn't
like
have.
seeing John
But I was
Wick
just
step
like
off that
thinking
thing.
like how else they could build and like branch out the world
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
But I think John Wick was definitely the call to make.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, I think John Wick's the call.
For sure.
At least to introduce it, John Wick is definitely the
Yeah.
call. And then if they want to do like another one, like continue the ballerina.
Okay.
Summer action
So
movie standoff.
summer action movie standoff. Which movie are you taking? Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning or The Ballerina? Which one did you enjoy more?
I have the Ballerina above Mission Impossible. Although I think the story was a little bit more generic in Ballerina. I just think that the hand-to-hand fight scenes were just top-notch in Ballerina. I mean, literally, you just can't get better. It's just more of what I want. I'm more of a John Wick person than a Mission Impossible person. I just absolutely love the Ballerina's fight scenes and the unique ways that they use weapons and everyday objects. The music is also banger. And even though he was only in it for a little bit, Keanu Reeves The Matrix is like top 2 movie of all time for me. So anything with him, I love. And Ana de Armas. What about you?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. The John Wick or the Ballerina, excuse me. No, it was fantastic. The fight scenes were incredible. You talk about the.
So you picked the Ballerina.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ballerina also. But the scenes, the action scenes that Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning had were great, and I don't want to diminish those.
No, yeah, they were great.
But if we're just talking hand-to-hand fights versus like environmental, like
it's kind of hard
action scenes,
you get
and
both. You get the
stunts,
best of both. Like
you can't beat the way that John Wick does it. I think they really perfected action fight scene choreography.
I prefer hand-to-hand fights over environmental action. Even though the stunts are absolutely insane in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, I will always prefer Ana de Armas blowing a guy to bits with a grenade belt over Tom Cruise hanging off a plane. I'm sorry. It's so awesome. And
I mean, I'll give Tom Cruise his respect.
I also prefer
him hanging
those
off the side of the plane was sick.
combats.
Yeah.
But you really can't beat hanging a guy and blowing up his head with a grenade.
Yeah. That's so cool. So cool. That would be.
One more random thing. What did you guys think about that guy with 80 telescopes in front of him at the top of that tower?
That guy
in John
knew
Wick?
Everything.
I have never seen any place in my life with that many telescopes.
And they're all like pointing
town.
at the same thing. Like, there's no way he's getting that different of an angle from here to here to here to here to here.
Bro, that's got to be so exhausting having to run around to peek through each little individual people.
And in the freezing cold, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's just up there in the elements.
They never
overlooking the whole
he comes
town
down
through,
for
like,
one thing.
glass.
Like, the guy probably lives up there.
He comes down to tell the director to get out of town, and the director's basically like, "Who are you and what are you talking about?
Who are you in our cult?" He's like, "Sir, I've been in the thing up there." Oh, forgot. You were just a little kid when you went up there.
He was like, "I was wondering who was giving me all this information on where John Wick was."
Oh wait, one last thing. Also, again, it's just like they didn't need to build it up this way. They build up throughout the entire movie, throughout the Ballerina. They build up that they have no way to find the cult. They don't know where the cult is. They don't know how to find the cult. No one knows where the cult is. And then she asks like 2 people, and the guy's like, "Well, I think they're here." And then she finds them. And I'm like, wait, I thought you said you didn't. I thought no one knew where they were.
They said nobody knows, and then the first 2 people she asks,
like basically like kind of know a little bit.
They point you,
and she somehow finds this random small town. It's like, yeah, that's them.
Well, she figured it. She figured out their traces because she was like, "All right, let me find somebody who's a member."
Yeah, but the guy
she got that ex guy who was like, "I'm trying to get out."
Yeah, but then the armory guy was like, I don't know where they are.
That guy did know too much.
But then he's like, "But I don't know where they are, but they might be right here on the map. They might be
this exact city where people go missing."
Yeah. There's a lot of people, a lot of assassins who go missing when they go look for them.
People go to this exact spot on the map, and they do not come back.
I actually normally see people with these X-shaped scars coming from that exact direction.
And remember what the first thing he says is, "You definitely know more than I do."
Yeah. And then he proves that he knows way too much.
Knows everything there is to know.
Pinpoint it on the map.
Beans.
Oh man, I was like, wait, I thought no one knew. She just pulls up. Also, she pulls up to the town that she, I guess, had an inkling that there was the cult, and she leaves all her weapons in the car. And I'm like, what are you doing? Take some weapons with you.
She could have stocked up on grenades and blown up the whole town. What the fuck she was doing?
All the kids' body parts go flying.
Driving a super powerful Mustang through a snowy mountain, curvy road.
Oh, that
was funny how they made the town like so kind of cute and like safe in the beginning. She goes to the coffee shop and the guy shows up immediately, no hesitation.
But I like that. Again, it just kept the action flow, and it was just more of like they just didn't need to build up that no one knew it was. It could be more of a build up of like, oh, we know where it is, but we don't tell anyone. And eventually, when they attack the armory, he's like, okay, you know what? Screw these guys. They're right here. Go kill them all. Instead of it being, well, I don't know where they are, but maybe check out right here. They could be directly at this coordinate.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Ballerina review. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in for other media things that we do.
Yeah, we got
some other stuff coming.
Yeah, we got a lot of movies coming out this summer. We got How to Train Your Dragon coming out. We got the Predator animated movie we're going to be talking about 28 years later. Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World, F1, Eddington. Like, dude, there's so many.
Yep.
It's going to be a great.
And we know you didn't ask, but we're
You didn't ask, but
we're going to be talking about a lot of them.
Yeah, so
get ready. Buckle
tune
up.
in and check out our TikTok for all of our wicked hate.
they don't like us on there.
Yeah. No. So, all right.
But we love each and every one of them.
Thanks for watching.
See ya.